Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome to another video from the Better Gaming Show, the podcast and event series dedicated to all aspects of ethical gambling. Today, I am looking at adult gaming centres, or AGCs as they are known. To the average Joe or Joan on the street, they are arcades or fruit machine shops, and it is all to do with the lack of checks being undertaken by local councils in order to ensure that these arcades or these centres are being compliant and they're putting player protection first. And it is a worrying report. So the BBC did an investigation. I think it's been backed up by the Social Market Foundation think tank. And let's go down to the figure here. Of the 317 English and Welsh licensing authorities with at least one gambling premises within their jurisdiction, 35 had reported zero inspections in 24-25. And these are submissions by councils to the Gambling Commission, of which 3 of them are disputing that they did zero inspections. So I guess they're saying that there is an error in there. But it is a worrying sign that councils was happy to have these on the high street, although some do grumble that they have a restriction on them that they have to permit to license when they receive an application from an operator. Whilst they do license them, and take their business rates, they are not doing, on the flip side, the thing that they are responsible for, which is making sure that they're compliant, making sure that the gaming machines are in the correct ratios, and just essentially making sure that their communities and their societies that they're responsible for are being protected by responsible operators. The main pressure for these are these B3 slot machines, which feature in a lot of these AGCs, and they offer up to £500 in prize money. And you can see here about how they're a real worrying level of gambling harm and how they have soared in recent times. This article features a couple and particularly a guy who succumbed to gambling harm through high street bookies and these AGCs. But here you can see the yield from the B3 machines climbed sharply after the pandemic from this point here right up to here. But even if you're saying that the pandemic, kind of the effects, even though we're still feeling them, but sort of like subsided in 2023, you can see here in 2024, they are rising, and it is a real worry. The main problem is that there's no targets for councils decreed by the Gambling Commission, and therefore there's no pressure on them to do the checks whilst they collect the business rates. A real worrying element. I hope that this gets resolved. Obviously, you've got commentary there from Sir Ian Duncan Smith from the APPG for gambling reform. He says it's totally inadequate. I would probably say I agree with him, and he needs to look at it urgently, which I would agree with. So look forward to seeing this pick up. And some additions to be had in terms of the directive from the Gambling Commission to local councils to try and protect the population of the UK from these AGCs, which I'll admit I am not a massive fan of. I think they have a place in tourist areas, entertainment spots, but it does worry me when they target high streets in lower socio-economic demographics and in deprived areas. I do not agree with them there at all. That's all from this video. See you in the next one.